Welcome back to the deep dive. We really plunge into the stories that kind of shift our perspective.
That's the idea.
And today, well, it's not just a football match we're looking at. It's more like an epic saga from the new expanded FIFA Club World Cup.
Yeah, it really had everything, didn't it?
It did. Imagine this. A huge clash on the pitch, right? Then Mother Nature just barges in, interrupts the whole thing. Plus, you've got this absolutely timeless performance from one player defying his age, and a scoreline that honestly tells such a bigger story than just the numbers.
It ended up being a 5-hour marathon
Yeah.
full of twists, turns, just completely unexpected.
So our mission today with this deep dive is really to get under the skin of it all.
Exactly. We want to unpack the drama, the resilience, especially from one side early on, and just the sheer spectacle of that Benfica versus Auckland City FC game.
We need to figure out what forces were really at play, the human element, the skill, but also the weather, the natural side of things.
Yeah, what made this one so memorable, so compelling? It's a fascinating sort of case study, elite sport hitting the unpredictable.
Okay, let's set the scene then. Take us there.
Right. So we're in Orlando, Florida, June 20th, 2025.
Okay.
Picture the Inter&Co Stadium. It's a balmy evening, kind of humid like Florida gets. Got about, 7,000 fans there? 6,730, I think.
Right, so not a packed house, but buzzing.
Definitely buzzing. That pre-match hum.
Yeah.
Anticipation in the air.
And the matchup itself was, well, classic David versus Goliath, almost.
Pretty much. But with this Club World Cup twist. Yeah, the Portuguese giants, SL Benfica, huge club, European pedigree, known for just attacking flair.
Real heavyweight.
Absolutely. And then facing them, Auckland City FC from New Zealand, semi-pro side, representing Oceania.
Okay, so Oceania, often seen as maybe the smallest confederation in football terms.
Yeah, definitely the least developed region globally. And the difference in, everything, resources, training facilities, player wages between Benfica and Auckland City is just vast, immense.
And Auckland City, they were coming into this with a specific mindset, weren't they? Something they really needed to achieve.
Oh, yeah. They'd just been absolutely hammered 10-0 by Bayern Munich in their first game.
Oof, 10-0.
Brutal. So their goal was crystal clear. Avoid another humiliation. Just show some pride, some fight.
And you know what? For the first 45 minutes, they did exactly that. They really frustrated Benfica, more than frustrated them, maybe.
It absolutely did. It was fascinating how they managed it, actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like luck or scrambling. No. Their coach, Paul Poza, he obviously set them up brilliantly. A really disciplined, deep defensive block.
Yeah.
Super compact.
Forcing Benfica wide, maybe?
Exactly. Shutting down the middle, making Benfica's usually sharp attacks look a bit predictable. Lots of long shots.
Right, but Benfica kept pushing.
Relentlessly. I think the shot count was something like 18-1 in Benfica's favor by halftime.
18-1.
Yeah. But Auckland's goalkeeper, Nathan Garrow, he was just phenomenal. Like a wall back there. Made 7 really crucial saves.
Wow. So it was a proper tactical battle, Auckland holding firm.
It really was. A testament to their organization, their spirit. They were hanging on.
You felt something had to give, right, with that much pressure.
You did. And it happened right at the very end of the half. Deep into stoppage time, 8th minute, I think.
8th minute of stoppage.
Okay. Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani, quick feet, dances into the box. Auckland's Harris Zeb, maybe a bit desperate, slides in, trips him. Penalty. Clear penalty.
Heartbreak for Auckland after all that work.
Totally. And who steps up?
Let me guess. The magician.
Ángel Di María, the 37-year-old Argentine. Cool as anything. Sends Garrow the wrong way, slots it home. 1-0 Benfica, right on the stroke of halftime.
Crucial goal for Benfica, devastating for Auckland.
You felt that was maybe the turning point.
Yeah.
But then something else happened.
Yeah, just as the halftime whistle goes, the whole atmosphere changes completely.
The heavens just opened. Properly opened.
Not just rain, like a full-on Florida thunderstorm. Lightning, thunder, torrential rain.
Biblical is the word. The pitch started looking like a swimming pool almost instantly.
Chaos, I imagine. Fans running for cover.
Total chaos. Everyone legged it to the concourses.
Yeah.
And the officials, well, they had no choice. Match paused.
Okay, pause for how long? 15, 20 minutes?
Try over 2 hours.
2 hours? Seriously?
Seriously, more than 2 hours. You could have, watched a whole movie on Netflix in that time.
Wow. That's extraordinary for a football match.
It really is. And that kind of massive, unexpected break, it just throws everything off kilter.
I bet. I mean, what does that do to the teams? You're geared up, you play 45 intense minutes then, and nothing for 2 hours.
Well, visually, the impact seemed pretty clear when they finally came back out. Auckland City looked deflated. That first half energy, that fight, it seemed to have just, drained away during the delay.
You can understand why, maybe. Cooling down completely, sitting around.
Exactly. Their rhythm was totally shot. Meanwhile, Benfica, well, they seem to have used the break. Maybe regrouped, talked tactics.
Right, maybe steeled themselves for the second half.
There's coach Bruno Lage. He even said afterwards it was the longest game of his entire career. 5 hours from the first whistle to the last. Imagine sticking around for that as a fan.
Yeah, massive test of endurance for everyone involved. And it really does highlight the gamble of hosting big tournaments in places like Florida in the summer, doesn't it?
For sure. That weather is just so unpredictable. And apparently this wasn't the only match affected by weather delays in this tournament.
Really? Okay, so it's a known risk.
Definitely. And you even saw little signs of frustration creeping in during the delay itself. Like Benfica's Alvaro Carrera is getting booked for arguing.
Silly yellow card to pick up.
And it means he misses their next game. Shows how even the top players were probably getting edgy with the whole stop-start situation.
So eventually, the rain stops, the pitch drains, and they come back out for the second half.
And Benfica came out like a different team entirely, just unleashed.
No more slow build-up.
Nope, full throttle. Took them just 8 minutes. Vangelis Pavlidis sort of bundled his way through the Auckland defense, maybe a bit scrappy, but smashed the shot into the bottom corner. 2-0.
And you felt, okay, that's probably game over now for Auckland.
Pretty much. And the floodgates. They well and truly opened after that.
Go on.
10 minutes later, Renato Sanches, who'd just come on as a substitute, fires one from outside the box, takes a big deflection, wrong Fuxgaro. 3-0.
Ouch. Deflection goals always feel a bit cruel.
They do. And at this point, you can see Auckland were just physically and mentally exhausted. That amazing first half defensive shape, gone, just crumbling.
And Benfica weren't letting up.
Not at all. Then Leandro Barreiro gets in on the act.
He scored twice, didn't he? Quickly.
Bang, bang. First, a tap in at the back post from a cross by Pavlidis, 4-0.
Okay.
Then, 2 minutes later, he's there again, close range, smashes it in, 5-0. Auckland's defense was just, unraveling fast, overwhelmed.
Total collapse, really.
And then, for the final flourish, guess who?
Had to be Di María again.
Of course. Wins another penalty. Nico Boxall brings him down inside the area. VAR checks it, confirms it.
And Di María steps up again.
Yeah, second penalty of the night. And this time, maybe even more audacious. Just coolly converts it again. 6-0. Game, set, and match.
So he scores 2, wins 1. He was central to everything.
Absolutely everything. It wasn't just the goals. It was his movement, his passes, the way he drew defenders. He won the first penalty, too, remember, after Prestiani made the run. He was just running the show.
It really was a masterclass, especially when you consider his age. 37.
Incredible, is it? Most players at 37 are, maybe slowing down, playing fewer minutes. He was the absolute architect of that win.
Those darting runs, the vision, it just shows that class is permanent.
It really does. Reminds you of his quality, the kind of quality that helped Argentina win the World Cup in 2022. He still has that matchup.
That ability to just dictate the game, even after a massive 2-hour interruption, that's elite mentality.
Few players have that. It was special to watch, even in a, ultimately one-sided game.
So let's talk about Auckland City again. We have to give them huge credit for that first half. Right?
Oh, absolutely. They battled so hard. They executed a really difficult defensive plan, almost perfectly against, let's face it, a vastly superior team.
But the final score, 6-0, it's just a brutal reality check.
It is, and you heard it in their coach Paul Pose's comments afterwards. He was trying to be positive, but you could tell he was gutted.
What did he say?
Something like, I'm a little bit frustrated. The first half was solid. It was just very disappointing to concede. I think the guys are going to be a little bit disappointed in the scoreline.
Yeah, that's understated frustration, isn't it? Polite way of saying the gap was just too big.
Immense.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think about this new 32-team Club World Cup format.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. It's a big experiment from FIFA, isn't it? More inclusive, more global.
More teams, more games, potentially more money. But then you get results like this. 6-0 here, 10-0 for Bayern against Auckland.
Right. So does that huge difference in quality actually damage the competition? Does it make it less competitive?
That's the big question, isn't it? Where's the balance? Is it better to have Auckland City there, representing Oceania, embodying that underdog spirit, getting exposure?
Giving smaller football regions a spotlight.
Exactly. Or does it just lead to these blowout scores that aren't maybe the best spectacle? and highlight the massive financial and sporting gaps.
That's a tough one. There's no easy answer there. And it wasn't just the scoreline. It was physically tough for Auckland too, right?
Yeah, they had Tongzio go off with a head injury.
Yeah.
It shows the physical toll these kinds of mismatches can take, even when you're mostly defending.
They even threw on 3 substitutes at once in the second half, didn't they? Trying to change something.
Desperation move, really? But yeah, it didn't stop the flow. Benfica were just too strong by then.
So looking ahead then, what's next for these two teams in the tournament?
Well, Benfica have got a massive game coming up. They play Bayern Munich next.
Ah, the team that beat Auckland 10-0. That'll be a proper test.
Huge test. A good result there could see Benfica through to the knockout stages. That's where they'll really measure themselves.
And Auckland City, their journey's pretty much done.
Yeah, sadly for them, they're out. No points, conceded 16 goals in 2 games. Their last match is against Boca Juniors.
Okay. So maybe a chance to grab a goal? Or just limit the damage?
I think that'll be the aim. And on a slightly more positive note, after a really challenging but probably unforgettable experience for them.
Definitely unforgettable. So when we look back at this whole thing, it was way more than just 90 minutes of football.
Oh, absolutely. A 5-hour saga, really. Full of drama, unexpected twists.
Yeah.
It showed football's crazy unpredictability.
And its brutality sometimes.
Yeah, that too. We saw brilliance from Di María, real heart from the underdog, and then Mother Nature just throwing a massive spanner in the works.
It really does make you wonder about these huge global tournaments, doesn't it? When things like 2-hour storm delays become major parts of the story, and the gaps between the teams are so enormous.
What does it mean for the game itself, for the spectacle?
Exactly. Does that kind of wild drama actually add something unique, something memorable? Or does it just expose the challenges, the vulnerabilities of trying to make these events bigger and more global?
It's a fine line. What's the real value we get from an event that's so unpredictable, so uneven? Where do you draw the line between wanting global inclusion and ensuring genuine top-level competition? It's something football will keep grappling with, I think.